It's almost are we ready to embrace a new life, isn't it? Because that's what we get, whether we like it or not. It's a new life.
Hi, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm Chris, and today we're going to paint a dove. And I've chosen the dove, or I actually chose the dove a while back, but decided to save it to this month because we're in December and we are approaching Christmas. So let's go and get started.
The dove symbolises hope and peace and the spirit of the departed, it says. So because of the time of the year that I'm painting this, which is approaching Christmas, I thought something with a bit of hope would be the right one to do at this time of the year. Today also is Rob's birthday, and I've had a bit of a sad start to the day, but I've kind of got myself maybe to grips a little bit with it right now, because that's what happens, isn't it? It was the 4-year anniversary last October, so this in effect is my 5th birthday without him, and it still hurts, and it hurts the family as well. So I thought the doves with peace and hope was a good one to do today. So it's a bit of a sad one as well, though. I am not making the picture any easier for myself, really, by making it into a bit of a sad picture, I suppose. But I want it to be realistic of where we're all at. So I'm having some clouds. I wanted that a little bit brighter, but I'm going to add a little bit of yellow into it in a minute. So I'm going to add a few clouds in, because I want those clouds to be this stuff here. I want it to be in the clouds. Sorry everyone, it really is going to be a bit of a tearjerker, that one, isn't it? So I've painted the paper already, because last week I did have an issue with the paper because I'd left the middle bit not done at once and it meant it all wonky, so I thought I'd just give it a go because I wanted it to be quite dark. So I thought, well, I'll just see what happens. Anyway, because I've painted the whole piece in one colour, I've not had that ruckling effect on the canvas pad, which is good. So around here, around this bird at the bottom, I kind of want it a little bit green. I don't want it to be too bright. I want it to be subtle green. I just want to make it like this is the land, that is heaven. And in effect, that is us. And that is our, I don't know if you can see that right now, because there is a dove up there too, looking down on us, protecting us and guiding us and being there for us, because their spirit does live on. Their spirit has never left us. I'm quite convinced of that. I always feel Rob is around, but in the house I've never really overly thought about him being with me when I've been away. Now and again, yes, I get the visits of Robins whilst I'm somewhere else, which is nice. So yeah, maybe there is some symbol in that. So today, because it's his birthday, I'm sorry, I'm kind of keeping my sense of humour a little bit, because some people might think she's gone barking mad. But it depends how you believe and what you believe. But if you're grieving and you're in the same boat as me, then you talk to them in the house. And if you've watched any of my videos, then you know that there's one picture that I feel more connected to than any, and it normally sits in my bedroom. But today, because it's Rob's birthday, and I wanted to try and make it a happy day and try not to dwell on him not being here as much as maybe happy memories today. So I've brought his picture, and he's now sat over on my desk watching me paint with a nice smiley face, which is cheerful. And I say, if people are not going through the grief that we are, they might not understand that, but I just thought it was nice, and actually I found comfort in it. So in a way, who cares what anyone else thinks if I'm happy with it? So I'm hoping that this is going to dry, you know, with some of that dark through, because I don't want it too bright, but of course I want the green on there. That it's sad. I don't want to actually be doing trees or anything too much, but I want it to be greenery. So right now, as I'm painting this, we are partway into December. It's a few weeks after Christmas. How are you coping with that? Where's your thoughts? And I think sometimes it's daunting, depending where you're at. But I don't even care. Actually, I don't think it matters where you're at, because even I'm feeling like that. And this will be my 5th Christmas without him. Yes, I'm spending it with family, but it's still sad, and it's still, he won't be with us. And then of course there's a new year, another year that they're not included in. So all these things are going to affect, and I think that is perfectly normal. Maybe an air of anticipation, So, you know, let me know how you're feeling in the comments. Obviously the dove is white, but it's not going to be completely white, otherwise we won't really see much of it. So I want to go in with slightly different colours. Maybe not too pink. It's a bit pink, isn't it? Actually, I'm quite happy with that shade in the end, actually, because it's almost a cream, isn't it? Even though I'm doing this just as a cover to start with, I'm just going to still try and paint a little bit in the directions of the feathers. So any lines that might show through are actually lines in the right direction. By slightly changing the colours around, we keep the shape of it. We can see what's going on and where it's going on. It's all subtle, but it's definitely going to help. Just going in, giving the impression of those wings straight away. The feathers on them, and the tail feathers are the same, actually, like that. This is the branches this one's sitting on. I almost want to say this is the branch that I'm sat on, because this is the person left behind, and the one that's gone to the clouds, gone to heaven. I do like doing a bit of tree. It's one thing that I've always said, I want to be able to paint a tree, and I've never really got to grips with it. It's funny, it's only perspective, and I can do it with animals, but I can't seem to do it with a tree. I just need to concentrate, I'm sure. So I'll paint those feet back in a second. I'll get that tree in and then do the feet. This one I'm using is a filbert brush, actually, so it's got curve on it, which is nice because you've got those different shapes you can get off it, and it's not as hard as using a flat brush. I want it to be a little bit bright around the edges of some of those clouds. I think that's probably not the yellow I really wanted. I'll turn that down a little bit with the ochre. If you're going to blend with your brush instead of your finger, just gently blend it out lighter and lighter as you go. You can build these colours up, but it's easier to build them. It doesn't matter if I'm going over this this stuff at the top, because obviously I'm going to paint that again. Sometimes you just need it there just so you can see it. So these clouds, I'm just going to go over quite glazy. I just want the yellow tips to be showing, really. I don't want all that yellow showing, but I don't want to completely wash it out. So I'm just going to glaze over so we get some of that yellow showing through, but we're strengthening the cloud as well. Do you know, it is easier to just go in with your finger and just blend that. So in ancient Greece, doves represent Aphrodite, the goddess of love. That's nice. Connecting the harmony of tranquility and love. So just get those fingers in and just rub that in. And I'm going at different consistencies, so we get different amounts of that yellow showing through. Because they're supposed to be different clouds, aren't they? They're not all one cloud, so they will overlap a bit. A bit into the blue there. Just make that a little bit stronger. in Christianity, doves appear in scenes, you know, of the Holy Spirit, emphasising their role as messengers of comfort and peace. That's lovely, isn't it? Because I think that's what we get from the doves, isn't it? It's that peace, hope, comfort. If you see them, that's what they say is, you know, the signs that someone's around and it's bringing you comfort. I don't think I've ever seen a white dove, mind you, but we all see different signs, don't we? I see lots of robins, and I see robins when I go around, so, you know, maybe that is my sign. I see the angel numbers. Even today I've had an 1818 angel number, which is something like going on in the right direction, I think. I can't remember what they mean here, it is because I've had it before, and all these things are just signs that our struggles aren't unnoticed, I think, as well. That's a good point, isn't it? That we are being looked after from above. Just might try a little bit of that brighter yellow in some areas. I'm obviously going to go over these again with some more white in a moment. I just felt that even that edge bit might want a little bit more brightening, really, in a way. And so I'll double back on the white. I just don't want to be doing the whole sky again because I kind of made that a bit of a habit recently of doing it. It just helps if you just keep changing your colours as you go along. So this is Rob's birthday, so what would we have done on his birthday normally? I think now we would have probably gone out for breakfast to the local cafe. And he likes a good breakfast. They do pancakes there, which I really like. I used to make him have pancakes on my birthday. And then in the evening, depending if we were here or whether we were with the children, but quite often it would be a Chinese or Indian takeaway. When it's your loved one's birthday, what sort of things did you have? What's the memories? You know, doing this white like this on black. I actually did a whole swan rearing up on its back, wings in the air, just on canvas with majority white, and it was just literally using white paint and black and using the canvas coming through as a shadow. It was just a bit of an experiment, but actually it was really good and I really enjoyed doing it. Once the beak's in both of these doves, it will help the seeing the shape and seeing where we're at with them. I'm just taking those little feathers up around the sides because actually they're not all straight up from the top. It's quite therapeutic actually, just swirling it round and blending it in. I'm keeping it quite moist as I'm doing it. I'll need it to keep moving, not go on too thick. I also want some of that dark to show through as well. I don't want it all to be taken over with the white. I also want to just go in this area and just get a little bit of brightness so it's not all too dark. Again, it's just keeping variety. It's not all one colour, it's all a bit of bits of different colours. Just having a go with the fan brush here, just to circle some of that in. Some people put like a rubber glove on for this, you know, those thin ones. You know, if you don't want to put your finger in, you can always do that as well. I'm just a messy person and don't mind doing this bit. Just picking up a little bit more of another colour just to blend some of those different areas in. Let's do his feet as well while we're at it, or her feet. A little bit pinky really, but we will tone that down. Let's just get this eye in as well. It's too weak now. I've put a bit too much water in. I'm actually just doing round the eye opposed to actually in the eye. When I do anything that is white, I've just done white rabbits actually for somebody as a commission. It's not quite finished, but I use a lot of colour underneath. It's very hard to get the white to show otherwise, so I might just, you might think, oh gosh, what is she doing with those colours, but that's the way I work with it. So I'll do little different blends of colour, and then when I come to put the actual white on, you've got a base and it's got something showing through, which is what we want as well. I wanted to grey that off then, so I've just put a little tad of the brown in. So it's just suggesting now that there's feathers there by building up those different shades of white, isn't it, really? Sticking to the page. It's good to blend on the paper as well. I always like to do that. So I've just mixed a bit of Payne's Grey into that purple, so it's making it just that deeper purple. I'm just going to make the actual eye. But I've not picked enough paint up. I probably actually need to get the lightness around here so we can see what we're doing. It's not actually showing up very well, is it? Just keeping the paint wet enough without it being overly wet. Otherwise it's just not leaving the brush properly. That's better. I need to just leave that out to dry because I need to get the outline of that, the eye back in, the paleness of it, because it's not quite getting it right now. Shape back in there. And this really is now, I'm just going to keep doing this as little strokes of feathers. It's nice to just blend some of that yellow back down because it wouldn't be blobs of yellow like that, it was just that shining through. Oh, I don't want it all to be pale white clouds, should I say. I don't want them to be black. Oh, it's very blue, isn't it? By doing some of it stronger and then weakening it off, it just drags it down as a paler colour. It's better, isn't it? So I'm just going back to my old faithful, oh, it's a bit wet, of my dagger brush and just getting some of those feathers in, because I do think this brush, it don't matter what I'm doing, it always seems to be the one that wins in the end for feathers, for hairs. It's just got that nice edge to it. It's nice if you just want to come in like that as well. It's not, it's a very versatile little brush actually, and I think the more I use it, the more I feel its usefulness. If that's the most English thing to say, isn't it? Just add a bit of blue into the bird, why ever not? We're going to be heavy on the white today, aren't we? I did quite thick there, and it's just going on a bit blobby in areas, but actually the texture is really lovely. So I'm just going to leave it doing that because I just think that's nice for the wings. It's such a lovely brush, isn't it? So on top of it being Rob's birthday, bless him, today, and he's joined me in the lounge. I know if anyone has just tuned in, you know, they'll think I've gone completely mental, won't they? But never mind. I'm happy to take that. But it's also approaching Christmas, and turtle doves are supposed to be a good thing, a sign of peace. People have them on the Christmas trees, don't they? Which is lovely. But I think when you've lost someone, it is hard. It's the hardest time of the year. Well, apart from their birthdays, because I'm sure for you their birthdays aren't all at Christmas as well. Like even mine's at Christmas too. It's a tough month. stuff on the grandchildren this morning as well. They were all feeling it a bit. I think they know his birthday probably quite sadly as a better one. And families, we used to always get together and, you know, and share that birthday. It's been a tough year this year as well because I live so far away, and we've not always managed to meet up on every occasion because it is a lot to try and deal with and sort out. I think if I got together with them all in December, it'd be like having the whole of December away from home, and sometimes that just doesn't work, does it? Just be careful I don't lose that line actually there. Go down a little bit of grey so I just don't lose it. I feel I need to get a bit of reflection in the eye just to make him come alive a little bit. It's not the right brush to do that with, but sometimes we can get a point on the end. Just helps a little bit, doesn't it, to see it? I'm going to use a bit of that white while we've got so much into these as well, because we still, although we're glazed, it wasn't thick enough. There's too much yellow still showing through. It's nice just to slowly build those clouds up. So I'm going to just turn myself around, because I normally do it anytime, and just try and do a little bit of this bird up here. It's just getting some of those whites really white. So right now in Scotland, where I am, I think it's actually all over the UK virtually, we're in the middle of a storm. So I'm now prepared. Where I live is quite in the sticks, and sometimes I end up with a power cut. So I'm all prepared for the electric to go off. It's not ideal, but my power pack's charging. Well, it's almost fully charged, to be honest. So let's hope we can continue with this and I don't lose the electric, because it would be nice if I didn't. In the years I've lived in this house, whilst Rob was here, we never ever, we had the odd storm but nothing major, and we never had a power cut. And in the 4 years that he's not been here, I've had a power cut every single year. Absolutely madness, isn't it? Some of the things you just have to learn to cope with, learn to deal with. Yet you didn't when they were here. What have you had to learn to cope with that just seems to have decided to happen since your loved one died? Sorry, some people say passed. Kind of a bit brutal on it, I suppose, by saying died, but it is, isn't it? You can't always sugarcoat it. So yeah, what's one of the things that you've had to learn to cope with? There's loads actually, isn't there? Leave it in the comment, leave a message. Sounds quite horrendous outside actually, if I'm honest. I think by the time I put the beak on that, I think we should get the shape of that face better. Just trying to get the whitish bits as white as possible. Relieve some of the dark under here because it is actually shadowed. Just those edges are very white. I just want to try and get some of those white as well. Not too sure about the grey so prominently underneath. Maybe we'll just glaze over them. So just a thin layer of paint. So we still see the grey, but we know it's all part of the cloud. It's quite bright. I'm going to, I think, put my finger in that in a second. Because why wouldn't you? As we approach Christmas, and it is that testing time of the year, it says, doves embody hope in times of sorrow. And I think maybe that's why they're prominent. Maybe that's it for Christmas. Because people put doves on the Christmas tree, don't they? Turtle doves, a pair of. It's hope and peace. And remind us that the spirit lives on. That our loved ones are always there in the background. Watching over us. I always believe that. I hope you believe it too, because I think it does help. It helps me anyway. Oops, don't want that on there. Sometimes that's why you need to really get your background sorted before you do your character, your animal. Apart from the fact that I have twice redone the background, and then just blend that in slightly. I'm going to leave that bit under there quite light. Sorry, quite dark, that's what I really meant to say. I really want to try and get the feet in. Or maybe actually I need to get that bit in so I can do the branch and then do the feet, isn't it? Yes. Let's just forget I said that. Let's make sure we've got this bit as I want. So I want a little bit of dark. A bit darker. Just to show that that is the underneath. The under here needs to be a bit darker as well. Get that shadow in. Since I've died, I have never put the Christmas tree up or any Christmas decorations up at all. I know I have the time at my daughter's away from here, and it's never felt right to put them up, so I've just never done it. I hear sometimes people say they've managed to do it, and I think if you've got little ones, family around, you have no option probably but to do it, which is quite understandable. Obviously when I go to my daughters, to the grandchildren, they've got decorations up themselves. But do you put decorations up? Where's your thoughts on that? It's a tough time of the year to make those decisions, isn't it? That bit of hope, a bit of, I suppose, peace on earth. Are you ready for that even? I think that's the other thing, isn't it? Are we ready? It's almost, are we ready to embrace a new life, isn't it? Because that's what we get, whether we like it or not. It's a new life. Right, so this bird, if we don't get the shadow under there, he's not looking as though he's got a shape into his head, is he? What is she? I want it to be a she. It's not often have she's, is it? What should we call her? This pretty little dove. I want to make her pretty in a way. Add a little bit of pink into her. Pink's dry. I shall come back to it. I almost feel I want to call her Gloria. I don't know why Gloria, but it's a nice name for her. What do you think? If I keep adding to the same colour, I'm just changing what goes down on the paper but keeping it all toned. That's it, and like that. Then her head is getting to be 3D. With highlight again with the white. It's all just getting those shapes and those darks and lights in. Not really pink, it's purple, isn't it? And the best here, we've got shaping in so many different ways again. Always the case, isn't it? On all of these. Well, I'd say animals, but really even if you're doing a portrait, you get it as well. I was so needing to get some pink in just because I wanted it to be a little girl. Is that funny? Around the outskirts of the eye, it is a little bit pinky anyway. And we'll do another layer on the eye in a second. And the beak is, it's almost a little bit salmony. But I'm just going to highlight almost the red areas, but I'm doing it obviously in pink here. Right, these feet, they're going to have to be built up in layers as well because they need to be quite sharp and quite bright. Oh, those little feet don't really look very pinky up there, but we'll start them off as pink, shall we, and then go in a little bit darker in a minute. I want to just get a bit of shadow under its belly here. That goes out a bit and then down. I didn't do that very smoothly, did I? I just don't think I had it wide enough, really. It's the same as the bottom one, so I don't think that is quite enough here either. Let's just widen that up a little bit. You know, as I swing this around, and I've always got a lifting it up, even on a big canvas, I do tend to sometimes be lifting it. Probably where maybe some people wouldn't, but it's everyone to how they feel comfortable, isn't it? Holding the board to get the detail in. Gloria here. We call in a Gloria. I'll do like that. I'm just going to give her a complete wash all over. So it'll be knocking some of those colours back, but it'll be bringing her out a little bit as well. I'm just going to do that glaze over this main character. Who is Gloria, isn't she? So I want to keep it as a wash. Quite often when you just do a wash over, it just brings everything together, because sometimes we've been adding lots of colour in, and now we need those colours to all become one, but reflect through. I think especially under here it was a bit patchy. I don't think I want to lose that darkness at the bottom though. I'm still going in those directions of the feathers, because we need to keep that line in. Nice to see how the reflection of all these comes through. I'm just going to just whiten a little bit of those claws, because I just think if I whiten some of them out, we'll get them to pop a little bit on the next coat. They're just not quite getting there. Quite a spectacular colour actually on them for the birds. I don't normally have them, well, at least I don't think the birds have them that bright always, do they? It's just got a little bit there where we've caught the green in. I think our head might go just a little bit more up and square there. And the top of her beak is a bit light like that. It's quite smooth actually in parts of her. It makes sense of all these, of the way the claws are and the way the feet are. I've just kind of blobbed colours in, haven't I? So I'm happy with the sky, with the clouds. Apart from the fact that I've got a bit of green here in the sky, which I'm sure that wouldn't really happen, as the green wouldn't actually meet it. It's sometimes when I'm doing these, they're not all realistic. Sometimes they're a bit fictional as well, aren't they? I do quite like this one being a little bit grayer though, so we'll keep that. How's Gloria looking? What do you think? So I need this this tree dealing with while she dries fully, because I need her to dry completely now. So I've gone quite dark on this first layer, on the outer edge. I was working away at weekend as a show. I'm so glad we didn't get this weather. Better close the marquee, I think. It wasn't particularly nice weather, we were very, very wet. I'm just getting in the dark outer edges, the dark lines in, and then we'll put a bit of tree effect in. I'm just trying to get that to be different colours each time. Create some sort of texture in there as well. It's quite a rough bark on this particular tree. It looks like a piece of silver birch, or maybe it's not silver birch as much as birch, if I'm not honest. That needs to completely dry as well. While some of this all dries, I need to try and just get in to this small bird at the top here, and I just feel that the shape of his head isn't quite right. I think we need to lift it a little bit away from the beak, and then just reshape it a little bit. don't particularly like painting animals upside down because it's quite off-putting, but they're getting into it. I think that would be slightly gentler on that curve there as well. Part of me thinks it should have a leaf in its mouth, but it's kind of a bit angelic then, isn't it? With the peace bit. If you're doing a copy of it or anything, you could decide that yourselves whether you wanted to do that. I think there should be one more here that comes that little bit further in on that bit. Yes, that's it. That's what was missing. Sometimes you kind of just need to add little bits here and there. Yeah, I think that's making me feel happier. I'm not sure his eye's quite right either, so we'll just get rid of some of that. That's better, isn't it? I think it was a bit too big, actually. I'm supposed to create a bit of a shadow there as well. If you don't get the shadows in, you lose some of the shape of the bird. It doesn't look real. Just put a little bit of the red, because the red's a little bit more orange, but I've got, I don't know what red it is actually. It's a cadmium red hue, but it has got more orange in it, and I think that's actually more beak colour. That's a massive beak on that bird actually, far too big really. Get rid of a little bit of it. No, actually the lorry is really pretty orange. I've gone very, very pink on her. Even if we don't get it perfect, if you've got different shades in there, it looks a lot better. It can't be one just blob of colour, can it? And the feet as well, which is really, well, they are very red on my picture. Just try and create little grooves on its feet as well now. So doves aren't just symbols or signs of peace. They also show us that new beginnings are possible. And as much as we're not really looking for a new beginning, we have no option. We're in it, aren't we? We're in it in the thick, like it or not. So it's given us hope that these new beginnings will be fine in the end. It's just a very hard and tough journey to start with. At least that's what I think anyway. What do you think? Are you just at the beginning? In which case, yes, I know that is very, very tough. Are you a little bit further? Have you gone through some crazy tough times? How's the Christmas period going to look for you as well? It's strange at first when I know probably the first couple of Christmases, even being away and being with family, you still feel very on your own. You feel lonely. You feel, it's like you know there's part of you missing. Because I think when you've been with someone for a long time, you're actually so together that, say joined at the hip, I think you are joined at the hip to a degree as well. So when part of you's gone, that's what it feels like, isn't it? You've lost part of you. So even with being in the crowd, in with family, all the same, it can feel still very, very, very isolating. But slowly it doesn't. Slowly we build that more confidence. We learn to live with the grief, don't we? That's what it is, really. Also, you know, your family's grieving too. Their grief will be different. But I always think that we have to respect it. My daughter sets a place for her dad at the Christmas table. And she always called him Padre. Ever since she learnt Spanish at school. The minute she knew Padre was her dad, well, that's what he was called. And she never actually ever stopped doing that. Even now she still refers to him as Padre. They are cheerful feet, aren't they? And now I've done them that cheerful, I need to do the beak a little bit. Oh, it's not as bright actually still, but it still needs a bit more colour into it. It's good to keep just adding and building that colour. Just give this one up here. This is a little guy. Just going to try and get some of that pale coloured white around its eye as well. It's too dry. I don't think there's actually much left on the paper. I think I'm just painting it rather than picking any up. It's still gone on quite cheerful actually though. I think once I touch that black up again, it'll be a good colour. I want to get some of those little fine indications of where the feathers are going there. You know, as usual, it's the back and two of light and dark, isn't it? Under here is quite shadowy dark actually. I need to make sure I get the shadows right. Get around that eye a little bit sharper as well. I had to give in to a small thin brush because the other one just was not getting the sharp bit very well at all. So I'm just going to go into this tree now because we need to get a little bit of shaping in here. So as I'm going down now, I'm just curving the bits I put on because that way we'll get some curved lines into the tree and make it appear curved around. Let that dry and then I'll do a bit more on it. So on Gloria, I said before I need to watch for the shadows, which I do, but also some of the brights. If we go brighter, then the shadows are going to be already there. So it's going to be, I'm going to go bright first, but also I've got a bit of shape in here that's not actually shaping. We shouldn't have that section there. It's gone a little bit narrow. So we'll just fill that in. And then I'm just going to slowly go round and pick out all the very, very bright areas. That is one of the bright areas, funny enough. And just, let's get some pure white in. I'm not going to add much water in. I'm literally going to go very strong on the white. Watching the directions of those feathers all the time now. Just supposed to be very bright on the top. It might be easier if I can see it this way around. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. I do like spinning my board around, don't I? Slow process this is, but I'll just carefully get on to just those white ones. Those ones here, they're kind of very curved here. I suppose that's down its chest, isn't it? This side isn't quite as bright because it's in the shadow. We'll just add some little bits. And then this wing. Those ones up the top there are bright, and this one down here. There's lots of directions on this wing. Okay, I'm putting this on quite thick and textured, so once I've done it, I'm going to just give it a few minutes to completely dry. The end of the beak there is quite bright too. The question is, do we put the leaf in, or do we just have it as a partner in heaven? It really has just become a case of just brightening things up now and putting those highlights on, hasn't it? It's been quite a nice one to do, this one. It seems to have been quick. Whether it has actually, I don't know. I might find when I come to edit that it wasn't that quick, but in my mind it has been. I have thought of the words for this one as well, so that one I will get those and tell you what these words are going to be. Okay, so let's just do a little bit more on the tree. I'm glad I've got no trees next to my house anymore. I had one come down couple of years ago. It missed my house, thankfully, but it had to come down properly. I don't like taking trees down ever, but safety. It should have never really been planted that close to a house. It's not something I did or my husband did. It was already there. It was hundreds of years old probably, but far too big and dangerous. We'll leave that to dry. I'm going to find you the words. Oh, I can see them now. No, I'm not going to take us. I'm going to start something else first. That was a bit cruel, wasn't it? I think it'd be good now to add a little teardrop. I feel there's an extra little hair somewhere on that. I just need to just be a little bit darker there. I've got that pretty little colour. I'm just going to do a little bit around its eye as well. Just try not to be too impatient with this. I actually quite like the eye now. Those extra little marks really made a difference. I'm just going to add a little bit more to the beak of the baby one. It's not really a baby one, it's the heavenly one. So the words for this one are every tear honours your love. Hence why I had to quickly wait until I put the tear on, because that was a big key thing. And I think, you know, it's Christmas. I know that they bring peace, but we're not going to get through it without a tear, are we? We know that. And as much as we'd like to, it's actually not going to happen, is it? Being honest, it's just the way it is. There will be a tear. But that's because we did love them. The tears are the love, aren't they? The grief is the love. I've said it before, but if we'd known the pain involved in falling in love with somebody so deeply, of finding your soulmate, would you have gone looking? Or would you? I don't think you go looking, actually. I didn't go looking for Rob. It just happened. I'd known him a while. I didn't know he fancied me. It just happened. Glad it did. Is that not right? It's only once you start concentrating so hard on things you can't always quite see. I think it is actually, isn't it? So we're going to put a leaf in this one. What do you think? So I was actually supposed to film that. So what I've actually done, I decided against the leaf, and I was going to put a heart on a stem, and then decided to very subtly just add in a little heart there, and a little heart on this one as well. Little soulmates. What do you think? So there we have it. Every tear honours your love.
So, Gloria. I can't believe I called her Gloria, but she is beautiful. Painting that I thoroughly enjoyed doing today. Whether that was because I had Rob watching me, who knows. But in honour of Rob and all of our partners that have sadly died, every tear honours your love. Great words. Great little tear, actually. Doves are signs of peace. And give us hope. And hope and peace is what we need at this time of the year. It's a tough time. Christmas period. It's December as I've painted this. It's going to be Christmas, New Year, another year without them. These times are not easy. So have time out. Sometimes just sit on your own. To be honest, even when you're with people, you feel very lonely anyway. Quite often it gets easier. I find it gets easier at Christmas time. I really have to make an effort to join in because it's good for me as well as the grandchildren. So yeah, if you've enjoyed today's, please do like and subscribe to my channel. This way I will grow it, and I'll see you soon.